Now, if you own a machine like this CBR 600 and you fancy yourself as a racer, you could perhaps go along to track days and learn how to ride your bike on the track. But unless you're 17 years of age and you hold a full motorcycle licence, you can't go on a track day. So where on earth do you learn? Well, the short answer is nowhere until now, because recently I went along to Darley Moor Race Track in Derbyshire. That's the only place in the country where they're teaching 11 to 17-year-olds to ride on a racetrack. Okay, Dave, so 11 to 17-year-olds, but what are the requirements to actually come on this race school?
Essentially, they have to be able to ride a motorcycle. We ask them to complete a basic competence test before we allow them on the track, which means riding in a straight line, starting off, changing the gear, stopping and doing the same back towards us again. As long as they can complete that, then we're happy for them to come on the school.
So how different is this to the adult track training school? Is it different to the adult school?
Other than the fact that the children seem to be more talented than most of the adults we get. No, not really. The school itself is structured exactly the same as the adult school. We teach them the fundamentals of riding a motorcycle, which is counter steering, which is braking properly, body positioning, and then give them the chance to put it into practice on a racetrack.
Right. And RS125s, any reason for RS125s?
I think they are the standard 125 race machine for youngsters. They're not the easiest bike in the world to ride by a long way. They have a very, very sort of idiosyncratic power band, and you have to understand how to ride them. And they have proved to be one of the most difficult things for the kids to get to come to terms with. But all the kids want to ride the Aprilia RS125. There is a race series that's dedicated to it, and it is a stunning handling little bike.
Right, well, you've had a look at your volunteers, your recruits for today, so what do they look like?
We've got some little stars. We have got some, and I use little in the literal sense. We've got a little lad he's 4'7". We have to have a little box for him to stand on. And he's a stunner. He's really good. I mean, once the wheels are moving, once they're off, they're a little bit unsteady slow down, which is understandable. I mean, I try to imagine a bike that would make me look that small, and I can't think of one really. And they are absolutely stunning. As I mentioned earlier, the level of ability that a lot of them are displaying is far in excess of that we get with the adults. I don't think they're burdened by preconceptions, by a desire to show off, by everything that they've read and their mates have told them down the pub. They come here with a completely clean sheet of paper. They want to learn, they are so excited by it, and they want to impress.
So do you think it's a case that very young, no fear? Do you think that's why they're actually quite good at it?
I think there is an element of that, but so far we've not noticed a reckless tendency amongst them. I mean, they seem to be... They come back and they look at you with little eyes, and they're gagging for information. They want to be praised, they want to be told they're doing it right, and they want to be better. And whilst it's very nerve-wracking when you first get them in the morning and they're wobbling around, by lunchtime the satisfaction we get as instructors is immense. You know, it's really good.
And so, with everybody leathered up and revved up, it was out onto the track for a spot of familiarisation, getting to know the circuit and getting the feel of the machine. The next exercise was counter steering and shifting of body weight, helping to make the machine turn quicker.
Try and keep your body in, keep your body perfectly still, and just use the bars to make it turn. Don't jab at it, just a nice progressive push each way, and it'll make it turn from side to side, yeah? I don't want it to go a lot faster, just a little bit quicker, so the bike turns a little bit better. Did you feel it turning with the bars? That's it, yeah, excellent. Yeah, you go around forward, paddle it around if you want.
And so, with counter steering well and truly mastered, and people even hanging off the machines, it was on to the afternoon activities. This commenced with a talk about braking, then once again out onto the circuit to learn how to stop a machine quickly and in a straight line. Once the instructors were happy with everybody's level of ability, the fun could really commence. Out onto the full circuit for some quality track time, lap after lap. And it was clear to see the improvement in all riders on the day. But what things would stick in their minds after today?
Counter steering, definitely. When I get out on track, will stick in my mind the most valuable technique I've learned today. Yeah.
It's braking. It's put a lot into my mind about getting cautions when you're getting on the corners. Put the back brake on, you lose it. Do the same with the front. never put them on.
Now, Tim Capper, you race an RS125 already, so has it been any use to you, this training school?
Yeah, it's taught me a lot of good techniques on how to handle the bike a bit better than I already have done.
Right. So even if you're a racer, you never know everything, do you?
No, you can always learn new techniques and
Right.
become a better rider.
Now, here's a couple of guys who look to me like they've done a fair bit of motorcycling before, Tom and Jay. Tom, what have you done before?
I done mini motoring.
Mini moto?
Yeah.
Why have you got Ollie on the back of your leathers and not Tom?
Because they're my brother's leathers.
Your brother's leathers, right. Does he know you've got them?
Yeah.
Good, right. What about you, Jay? What have you done in the past?
I've done motocross.
Motocross.
Yeah, I've been on a course with Dave Thorpe.
Oh, have you? Dave Thorpe, he's a famous name from the past, isn't he? So are you learning loads on this, Tom?
Yeah, a lot. Great fun. Excellent.
What's been the main thing? Are you going faster than you thought you would have been going?
Yeah, I'm going quite fast, but I'm going to try and get a little bit faster when we go out next.
All right. Well, you're doing pretty well up to now. What about you, Jay? I mean, is it frightening in any way?
No, around the corners it's a bit slippery, that's about it.
Is it? Well, it's drying out now, the track. You better go even quicker this afternoon.
It's a bit windy though.
Right, so what's your ambition then? Be a motorcycle racer?
Yeah, Dad said he'd try and get me in a club on one of these this year, maybe next year,
Right.
but he's going to try.
What about you, Jay? You going to go into racing?
Yeah, I want to be the next Foggy.
Stevie, what have you learned today about this?
I've learned how to brake in really well and learning how to deal with the power because they're really quite fast. They're very different to what I ride, the mini moto, which the clutch comes in a lot harder and it accelerates harder, but these 125s are so much faster and it's really good fun.
So another successful school completed, I think. Dave, any superstars out there today?
I think we've got one or two budding candidates here. There's a couple of lads who have impressed us.
Yeah.
They're going very, very well and showing remarkable ability for such a young age and relatively inexperienced as well.
Yeah. It must be very, very rewarding because you must see the progress and the improvement throughout the day. You must have seen that with some of the guys today.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, there was one lad who had come thinking the power band was something that was going to knock him off the back of the bike, and once he sort of got it going, he came back with the biggest smile on his face, and he's so happy. And since then, he's gone really, really well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I certainly think that we're going to have some little starlets here.
Right.
Definitely.
So I suppose maybe the ambition of you as a training school is to perhaps watch somebody on TV in the future and think, well, yes, I had a hand in him learning how to do that.
The British motorcycle road race sport is lacking something for the youngsters. There is no way that a 14-year-old can't practice. He can race, he can go to a proper race meeting, but he can't go anywhere to practice. Right. We not only give them practice, but we give them quality practice. We give them skills that will help them become better, add some miles to it, and yeah, I honestly think that in 2 or 3 years' time we're going to see 125 champion, British champions and maybe European champions that have been bred from, started here and come up through the Super Teen Series, yeah.
So there may be somebody watching this now, Dave, thinking, that's good, I fancy having a go at that. That would make a nice birthday present for me. I'll ask my dad, what's it going to cost his dad to come and do this?
Basically, it's going to cost his dad £225. It's the cost that we charge the adults for the adult school, and we don't see why we should charge the kids any more than that. We give them the brand new bikes, which is fully fuelled. If the child is 5'2" or above, we can supply kit. If they're smaller than 5'2", they have to supply their own, but most of the kids we get are sort of 5'6", 5'7", so they are quite tall. But if they are super small, then obviously they have to bring their own kit. We feed them all day, we water them all day, and we give them some quality track time and quality training.